Hi. Hi YouTube, this is my first video. Um, let's see. Okay, there. Um, this is gonna be a video on how to do this magic trick. I'm sure you've all seen it. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna try to make this really awesome because some of the other videos I've seen on this really bad. Okay, first I'll do this trick. Okay. Okay. So this guy walked up to me in the street the other day, said, "Hey, I want to play a three-card trick with you." Okay, 3 cards, no tricks, okay? I said, "Sure, yeah." And he says, "Okay, this is going to be sort of a life lesson in the end." And so he goes, so I have 3 cards. The first card is a this card, okay? The second card is also a this card, and the third card is a that card, okay? Now he tells me all you got to do is keep your eye on the that card. And as he said that, he moved that card to the bottom, and I saw him do that, and I said, "Well, that's easy, that's on the bottom." And he said, "Actually, no, that's a this card." And I said, "Well, geez, if that's on the bottom, then this might be on the top because he had 2 thises and that." And he says, "Well, no, actually, the top card is also a this card." And I said, "Well, if you have 2 thises and if you have a this on the bottom and on the top, then that has to be in the middle because it's just pure logic." And he says, "Actually, no, that's also a this card too." So I said, "Well, you're cheating. You're using 3 this cards." He says, "Actually, no, that's on the bottom." And I said, "Well, if that's on the bottom, then this has to be on the top and on the middle." And he says, "Well, actually, no, that's also on the bottom." I said, "Well, you can't be using 2 that cards." And he said, "Well, if I can't be using 2 that cards, can I at least be using 3?" I said, "Whoa, hold on, guy. You're cheating somehow." And he's like, "Actually, no. I'm actually using 3 this cards. 1, 2, and 3." Okay. I said, "Okay, dude, that was really obvious. You just took the same card over and over again." And he says, "Well, yeah, but in life, you got to remember, you get a little bit of this, you get a little bit of that, but you don't seem to get much more of the other." Okay? So that's the trick, and this is how you do it. Okay? First off, you got to start off with making 3 cards, one that says this, one that says that, and one that says the other. And make sure they're all the same cards, otherwise people would get suspicious and everything. Because you're just basically just picking up 2 cards the whole entire time. Okay, so how you're going to start this is you're going to start off with that on the bottom, this in the middle, and other on the top. And then you take, in the beginning you say, "I got 3 cards," and then when you say the first card is a this card, you're actually picking up the other and the this card. See? So it looks like I got a this card, and then you take off the top card, which is actually the other card because you picked up 2 cards. You set that down, face down so they don't see it. Say the second card is also a this card, right? Because that's in the middle. And then the third card is a that card, okay? Because that's on the bottom. And then other will be on the bottom, so you'd have to get that away. So you say, "Now keep your eye on the that card." And as you put that to the bottom, you actually pick up 2 cards. That's a pretty obvious part of the trick. People always say you picked up 2 cards, so don't worry. And then you say, "Well, actually this is on the bottom now." And then what you do the next part, it's kind of hard to say that this is also on the top. You take these 2 cards and you just kind of push them forward and then pull the back card back so that you have the top card is near you, the middle card is away from you, and the bottom card is near you, okay? And then you pick up the bottom and on the top card at the same time. See? So you're actually picking up the bottom card too. Right? And then you say, "This is on the top." And when you flip that over, this will automatically go to the middle. And so that's also this card. You say, "Well, that's 3 thises." And he says, "No, actually, that's on the bottom, and that will just be on the bottom." And then you do the same thing. You put top card towards you, middle card away from you. And then you pick up the top and the bottom. You say, "That's in the middle, that's in the top, and that's in the middle too." And then when you say 3 this cards, well, this is really obvious part. You just say this, and then you take off the top card, show on the bottom card again, this, and then you take off the top card again, then this, okay. And then you go a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but not much more of the other. Now, once everybody sees the other, they'll just be like, "Oh my God, you are totally weird." That's amazing. But then, whenever you show somebody that card trick again, everybody's always just they get all confused and they're like, "What the heck happened to the other card?" And for a little while, you think they're actually solving it, but they are actually really confused. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah. This is a cool magic trick. You can really make everybody really weird with that. So, yeah, I'll try to get more magic tricks to you. Yep, and